pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
After a difficult race last week at Road America, we come now to one of the most legendary circuits in all of auto racing. It is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Speedway, Indiana, for the round of 16 cutoff race for the ThunderClap Stock Car iRacing Series. Good evening, everybody. My name is Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for joining us here tonight on the newly minted Sim Racing Media SRM. Alongside me, as always, my broadcast partner, Tony Trapasso. Tony, we have a great race on hand here tonight. 100 laps here at Indianapolis. The 16 drivers that are running for the championship are certainly going to have their hands full with this racetrack.
They are at that, but, Frank, you touched on something that I want to reiterate. We could not have picked a more important race to kick off the new SRM branding here on the channel. I am proud to be in the booth with you, my friend, because I couldn't think of broadcasting with anyone else to do this.
And for those of you who did not watch the Western States Racing League race last night, the Esports Broadcasting Network is no more. It is now Sim Racing Media. All the same great racing action, all the same great broadcasters, the same great staff that put on all of these races every single day are still here. Ain't nothing changing but a name. But right now we come to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Final race in the round of 16. Here is how the championship standings set up right now. Mark McCrary is locked in after his win in the opening race at Rockingham. Thomas Aaron, J.D. Woodward, Ryan Zunk, Ryan Truex, even Steven Sharik, the top 6 have pretty much pointed their way into the next round. It's from there on that gets a little bit hairy. Greg Vielle, Roger DeBold, Greg McConey, Seth Gadjadores are all in, but very well could fall out before this night is out. Before this night is over. There it is.
It absolutely could be. And you see that the brothers Sharik are both currently sitting on the inside, and the brothers Gadjadores, that's going to be an interesting conversation with mom on Sunday dinner if one makes it and the other one doesn't. So I would definitely look to see both those brother sets try to work well with each other tonight to get as far forward as they possibly can.
It certainly will be. And one name you'll notice down towards the bottom of that list, down in 16th, is Jake Waltman. He is in a win and you're in scenario. And we had mentioned that he was parked for the end of that race at Road America. As a matter of fact, he actually parked himself. He decided to no longer participate in that race. And because of the antics that we had showed at the end of the first stage and during the caution for the first stage, he has been put on notice. He is on probation for the remainder of the season. He has one incident. So if he causes
secret double probation for him.
Yes. So if he causes one caution here tonight, he will be parked for the race and suspended for the next race. If he causes another one after that, he will be parked for the remainder of the season, plus a 5-week probation to open up season 3. So that 06 right now is the fastest car on the racetrack, at least for practice, as we get down into the final couple of seconds of it. But he is certainly on thin ice as far as the remainder of this season is concerned.
I mean, if you take a look at it, does he have the skill? Absolutely. Is he talented as a driver? Absolutely. Does he have what we normally refer to as racecraft? Absolutely not. He's more likely than not going to end up like a bull in a china shop.
I wouldn't have gone that far, but okay. As we go now as we go now into the qualifying session, we'll take a look. It will be Steven Liszczynski who will be the first one to jump out onto the racetrack. Ryan Truex on track as well. Dustin Stalling, Scott Formosa, Chase Leahy, Steven Sharik, Cole Gadjadores, Ryan Harrison on track as well, including this man. The number 6 has returned. This is Jordan Jurassic. Now, we had last seen him back at the season opener at Daytona. Has not run the entirety of the schedule beyond that, so this will be just the second start for the number 6 here tonight, and he was second on the timing and scoring sheet after practice, had put that time in right at the very last moment.
Absolutely. I mean, he's got the short run speed, but Frank, you know as well as I do, this track is notorious for eating the right front tire because these cars were never really intended to race here. Do they put on amazing action? Absolutely. Is it a track that the drivers and fans love to come to? Absolutely. Is it a track that the tire manufacturer is very kind to? Absolutely not, because this is one of the only series that runs here at the Brickyard Oval that uses a non-Firestone Bridgestone compound. And that includes the GP motorcycle races that do take place on the road course here. So, it's one of those situations where it's an estimated guess with Goodyear as to what the tire is going to be for this place.
Speaking of the Indianapolis road course, the road course got an update. Unfortunately, the oval did not, so we're still with the old oval, as it were. As Chase Leahy crosses the line, he will be the first one to set a time in that number 34, and he will jump up into second. Jordan Jurassic, as we had mentioned before, second fastest in practice right now, fastest of all in the qualifying session, as we see the number 8 of Chuck Chambly heading his way through turn 4. Thomas Aaron also on a flyer. We'll see if we can find that number 93.
Wow.
There he goes to the top of 784 for the 93. A great time for him.
Yeah, but this lap of the 6, was purple in that first sector on lap 2. Let's see what type of time he can pick up as he brings it through turn 4. He can see the checkered flag for himself in the air right now, coming down the front chute with a full head of steam. And Jurassic right to the top of the pile again. But here comes Aaron as he went purple in the first sector on his second lap. Scott Famosa jumps up to second. Thomas Aaron, Dustin Stallings, Chase Leahy rounding out your top 5 right now. Oh, boy.
Aaron catches the wall coming out of turn 4, so that negates the lap.
That's no bueno.
Which means for at least a moment, Jordan Jurassic, and you're right, Tony, he was on pace. Jurassic put in a 26:44 on the first half of the lap. Thomas Aaron, a 26:38 was fastest of all, so he was certainly on pace to take that spot. As here is the 31 of Tyler Chalk. He jumps up to 6th. Justin Clapper would be the next one to cross the line in the number 63. He catches the wall coming out of turn 4 as well. Robert Walton. Big wiggle coming out of turn 3.
Roger DeBold taking the Nitro Circus Ford Mustang across the line for his first flyer. Not the lap he was hoping for there. Trying to pick up the pace on lap 2 is the 38. As Matt Cherry, Ryan Zunk, Cole Gadgedoris, and David Hall are also out on track right now.
Walton up to P6 on his first lap. Justin Clapper, again, that second lap did not count. DeBold 14th. Ryan Zunk in the 23 here. In 10th on his first lap. Mark McCrary about to complete his first lap in the number 88 Speed Kings car. Only driver that does not have anything to worry about coming into this race.
Greg McCorney just clattered the wall coming out of 4 on his first flyer.
It's unfortunate for him, and that'll pretty much ruin his second lap as well, as there is that number 12 body armor machine. There's Bo Condon on track there. Ooh, had a hard bit of contact with the wall in 2. And then even harder down the back straightaway. You can see something on the hood of that number 25. That would be for his father, who is currently in hospital right now, fighting through a blood infection. So we certainly wish Bo's father the best.
Thoughts and prayers going out to the entire Condon family right now, as we're hoping his dad can pull through on this one.
Absolutely, as we'll see, it's the 54 of Matt Cherry. Matt Garrett crossing the line now to end his lap, same as Cherry. Cherry moves up slightly. Matt Garrett done with his lap. Seth Gadgedoris, one of the drivers on the bubble, 13th for the number 4. David
Cole
Hall
coming down to take the green flag on his first flyer in that Red Bull Ford Mustang is unfortunately for him a little bit sideways coming out of 4, as Bo Condon's going to be a one and done here in qualifying.
There's the 21 of David Hall going up to 21st. Cole Gadgedoris, as Tony had mentioned, on his first lap. Greg Vielle coming around to start his first lap. Tyler Truex on pit road has not attempted a qualifying time. Same with Jake Waltman. On pit road has not gone out on track. Anthony Burleson, Kyle Newkirk, and James Sharik. The only 3 that have not attempted a time in any way, shape, or form. As Cole Gadgedoris obviously did not like the way he came out of turns 3 and 4 there, so he will negate that lap. Same with Greg Vielle. He negates before he jumps on, he collects the green flag. So Cole Gadgedoris, I don't think Cole is going to catch a time here because he was on his first lap and because the pit out is beyond the start-finish line. This is technically his second lap here.
It did the same thing to Bo Condon, I believe, as Well, we'll see what happens when he gets to the start-finish line.
Well, Bo had crossed the line. He had completed his first lap. But for Cole Gadgedoris, I don't think that's going to be the case, as he's going to catch the wall anyway, so that ends
that lap's negated, so.
2 minutes left here in this qualifying session. Chuck Chambly out for what would be his second lap, but again, not going to count. He'll take the checkered flag here.
Tyler Truex sitting on the end of pit road. The only thing is, he's running out of time to put one down.
Minute 45 left here in this qualifying session.
You know, with clear skies, he's thinking that the track's going to cool off a little bit. As we're only 4:30 in the afternoon in sim time, he's putting himself right behind the 8 ball right now.
Greg Vial the same, James Sharik as well. In the same boat as we see Chambly complete effectively a scouting lap in that number 8. So it's looking as though the 6 of Jordan Jurassic is going to take pole here as Gadgedoris. Oh, Gadgedoris will set a time up to 19th.
Sim was very kind to him to let him have that lap too.
Absolutely.
As you know, he got it in, so congrats to him.
It's a 53.38 for the 89. Tyler Truex, Greg Vial, Jake Waldman have gone to pit road, but will not get a lap in. Anthony Burleson, Kyle Newkirk, and James Sharik will not get a lap in either way here with just 20 seconds left in the qualifying session, which means once again the non-playoff driver will take the pole, and this time it will be Jordan Jurassic again on his first race of the season since the opener at Daytona.
And I mean, that's actually good news for him, simply because, you know, he's putting these guys on notice, and it's always fun to see guys that, you know, come in as an interloper during playoff times like this, to see what they can put up there for a time. And, you know, he's definitely capable of being able to really crank one off and steal this one tonight and put a lot of guys behind the 8 ball going into the cut, being as this is the cutoff round.
Absolutely. As we will now do as we normally do, we will throw it now to Terry Adams for tonight's national anthem. Thank you very much, as always, to Terry Adams for that national anthem. And we will, before we get going here, we still have about 2.5 minutes to go, just to remind you of the playoffs and really the drivers that we're going to be highlighting here tonight. Jake Waltman, Dustin Stallings, Cole Gedgedoris, and Robert Walton are in win and you're to be fair, Stallings and Waltman are in win and you're in scenarios. Cole Gedgedoris and Robert Walton can point their way in. They're both sitting at 3,052 points. 2 points off of Seth Gedgedoris, who is the cutoff driver. Greg McConey sits a further 4 points ahead of Seth Gedgedoris, and Roger DeBold, who was the regular season champion, right now is on the bubble somewhat at 365 points. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but Thomas Aaron last week was able to haul in 63 points from his stage wins and by finishing second. So you really cannot afford a bad race here tonight if you are one of those drivers that's down from pretty much 9th, 10th on down.
You're absolutely correct. And, the biggest thing to keep in mind, too, there are quite a few brother combinations in this series. Again, Seth and Cole Gadgedoris sitting 12th and 13th in points respectively right now, with only 2 points separating the two of them. And as you mentioned, Marconi is down there, DeBold is down there, Vial is within striking distance. Scott Formosa currently sitting in 7th, 14 markers to the good. He's pretty safe, but not. He has to have a solid finish, somewhere in the top 15, and he should be able to move on points. Stallings and Waltman definitely need to win. Cole Gadgedoris, Seth Gadgedoris, they would love to get a win under their belts, as we've seen both of them run towards the front all season long. But this is one of those tracks, Frank, that really it tests the limit of the driver, because you have to be elbows out up on the wheel at all times here.
And it's pretty much a one-lane racetrack. It seems very wide, but especially if you've driven an Indy car around here, you could certainly attest to the fact that this is very much a one-lane racetrack where it is very difficult to try to get a pass done on the outside line, especially as the tire run wears on. But right now we will go to the grid here for tonight's race. And starting on pole will be the number 6 of Jordan Jurassic. Scott Formosa will line up right next to him on row number 1. Thomas Aaron and Dustin Stallings will make up row number 2 with Chase Leahy and Mark McCrary in row number 4. Row 5 goes to Matt Garrett and Robert Walton. Row 5, Ryan Zunk and Tyler Chalk will round out the top 10. Steven Sharik and J.D. Woodward will line up in row 6. Row 7 goes to Seth Gedgedoris and Ryan Truex. Row 8 will see Chuck Chambly and Justin Clapper. Row 9, Stephen Leschinski and Greg McConey. Cole Gedgedoris and Roger DeBold will make up row number 10.
Matt Cherry and David Hall are going to make up row number 11. Nikolai Jardin and Ryan Harrison going to roll off in row number 12. Harrison, the last car to actually lay a legit time in qualifying. Then starting behind them, based on iRating anyways, is going to be Tyler Truex and Jake Waltman in row 13. James Sharik and Greg Vial in 14th row. Anthony Burleson and Bo Condon, two teammates there, are going to roll it off in row 15. And Kyle Newkirk slated to roll off shotgun on the field, as the field is already starting to roll behind the official iRacing pace car.
31 drivers set to take to the racetrack here tonight. One of the bigger fields that we have had all season long. Weather conditions here at Indianapolis today, just shy of 5 o'clock p.m. in sim time. 78-degree ambient temperature, 105-degree track temperature. So even though it's late in the day, that track temperature is still in the triple digits.
It absolutely is, Frank. And, these guys are going to have to fight with that all afternoon. This is definitely not the easiest track to get around in the best of times. And with that track temperature as high as it is, it's going to be sketchy as the race wears on and the track continues to rise in temperature.
Absolutely. So we are not that far away from cutting down the championship contenders from 16 to 12. A lot of drivers can get their way in, but also some can fall out. Good races are needed by all to take the championship. Tony, lead us down.
As the field worked its way out of the turn 4 complex, pace car getting ready to make the hard left turn. The only thing that's left to say is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab some popcorn and your golf gloves because it's time to get it on at Indy. Race fans, it's show time.
Green flag is in the air here at Indianapolis. 100 laps from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And immediately Jordan Jurassic on that inside takes the race lead. Scott Formosa falls down to third, behind Thomas Aaron. Dustin Stallings up there as well, and this is huge for Stallings, seeing as though his playoffs really started off in a shambles.
It absolutely did, and he's trying to make up that ground that he lost in the first round. Trying to make something happen here. As Aaron not letting Jurassic get too far away from him. He's got Scott Formosa and Dustin Stallings. The four of them are starting to pull a little bit of a gap over fifth place, Mark McCrary.
Everyone's starting to get single file out, so now it'll be Jordan Jurassic leading the first lap, Thomas Aaron second, Scott Formosa, Dustin Stallings, Mark McCrary rounding out the top five. Again, McCrary has absolutely no worries here after winning the first round of the playoffs at Rockingham. He is set until next week. Matt Garrett working on Robert Walton. That would be for 7th. Tyler Chalk, Ryan Zunk, Steven Sharik right now rounding out the field, but the battle is rounding out the top 10, but the battle is towards the back as you see these cars fanned out, trying to move their way forward. That's the Coors number 06 of Jake Waltman trying to move his way forward back into championship contention.
I was just keeping an eye on Matt Cherry, Seth Gadgedoris, and Cole Gadgedoris. That battle for 12th is just a slugfest right now as the brothers Gadgedoris goes door to door through the short chute leading into down the long straight, coming out of turn number 4. And they're just going after each other right now, trying to make as much headway as they can on the fresh tires.
Justin Clapper also right there as well in the 63, the 56 of Ryan Truex behind, as well as Cole Gadgedoris on the outside looking in. Seth Gadgedoris is the car that came in on the bubble. A big block in the back, as that was the 06 of Jake Waltman trying to get around Tyler Truex, I believe. If not, it was David Hall in the 21, but Waltman already up to 22nd position here in the early stages of this race.
He is. He's currently +4. The biggest mover, though, is right there in 12th. That's Matt Cherry in the Stay Tuned number 54. Cherry +9, currently sitting in 12th, as Cole and Seth Gadgedoris have been door-to-door for the past 3 laps.
Cole now gets the spot as Seth falls down to 14th position. J.D. Woodward, another one of the playoff drivers, towards the back of the field, just losing out to Roger DeBold, who is there towards the back. Right now, James Sharik had to take a drive-through penalty at the start of this race. Same thing with the 8 of Chuck Chambly. So those guys are towards the back. James Sharik right now the lowest running playoff contender. Greg Vielle in the 26 also down there. Jake Waltman and J.D. Woodward, your 4 lowest running playoff drivers here in this race thus far, as Ryan Truex gets around Justin Clapper. Clapper now looks to the inside going into turn 1. This is for 15th.
Up in front of him, one of the chase contenders that is currently on the inside, Robert Walton in the 66, putting up a fierce battle against Matt Garrett in the 3 right now, as they are fanned out in front of those guys. That is Thomas, Aaron, and Dustin Stallings going door to door, going into turn number 3. Aaron just slams the door. Now tries to reel in Formosa. As Formosa, running in second right now, has gotten by Aaron. Aaron wants that spot back desperately.
Just gotten past him down the back straightaway there. And again, we talked about Dustin Stallings and the issues that he had to begin his playoff run. First lap, first corner for the 5 in the playoffs. Involved in an incident, finished last at Rockingham, did not have the greatest of runs, had a very solid run, but not the greatest of runs last week at Road America. This 5 right now is exactly where he needs to be, in 4th right now, the second highest running playoff driver in the field.
He is at that. And the one thing that you need to keep in mind, Frank, these guys are running a 50% fuel fill tonight. That's probably, and I stand corrected, not running a 50% fuel fill. 5 sets of tires to get them through tonight, which means, ideally, you're probably looking to pit around lap 25-ish, lap 50-ish, lap 75-ish, and still have a set laying if we get a late race caution, so you can put on the fresh shoes and try to make something happen. So, I'm expecting pit window to be right around 25 laps, because apparently the tires are going to give out well before the fuel tanks do.
Dustin Stallings ended up taking a provisional at Road America last week in that number 5. Who the heck was I thinking of then? I think it's the next question. As there we see the 31 of Tyler Chalk trying to break the draft. Is that Steven Sharik behind him? This little trio in front of him here. Chase Leahy in the 34. Robert Walton in the 66. Matt Garrett in the 3. Battle for 6 between these 3 as the caution has come out.
Tyler Truex hit something.
There is that 69 of Truex.
Oh, my. Oh!
Right front suspension broken on that machine. See it here in a second.
I don't think race control is going to like this too much.
We'll see what happens here. So it appears to be Jake Waltman and Tyler Truex battling with each other. There goes Waltman to the inside in turn 2. It's a little loose, slides up in front. This is earlier on. There's down the back side by side. Truex gets in line, and then contact between the 06 and the 69.
Boom goes the dynamite.
Before we start making any assumptions here, let's take a look and see from a better angle.
Take a look from the chopper cam. You can really see
what we're doing. There it is,
what's
following
going on
by.
there. Truex had the draft, and Waltman just didn't let him go into the turn.
I don't think that's entirely accurate. It did look like the 69 was coming down a little bit. I would classify that as racing incident between those two, if I'm honest.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I took a look at the drone footage, and that was just one of them deals where Ryan was trying to arc the corner and Jake was there, and neither one gave room. So I do apologize for immediately putting that on Jake. I was mistaken, and I do apologize.
I mean, it's also, again, worth noting because of what we had broken down earlier in the race. Well, earlier in the broadcast as to what's happened from last. Yes.
I just looked at the in-sim chatter. Jake Waltman is putting that on himself.
Okay. So he came down pit road. We saw him drive down pit road. Right there. Chuck Chambly, David Hall, and Steven Luschinski also coming down pit road. So very much a developing issue there. Stage breaks, by the way, tonight coming on laps 30 and 60. So still have a ways to go here before the first stage comes to a close. About a third of the way through, just about a third of the way through the first stage here tonight.
I want to thank everybody for joining us in the live chat while we're under caution here. Everybody checking in, and thank you, Cliff, for saying that. Cliff Corvo saying that we're both legends, Frank.
I see that
and
as well.
That's kind of a little over the top, but hey, I've been known to be.
As you do.
Over the top, that is. Our pole sitter checking in as well, as is the owner of Speed Kings Motorsports. Let's go 88, 8 and 80, I should say.
I find it interesting that the man running in second place is the number he forgot to put in that first message, that overall message there.
I see this. How does it feel to be the forgotten child?
As the highest runner as well.
Good grief.
Also, be sure, as you see there in the chat, we do have a Twitter account that we just started up earlier today. So to keep up to date with everything that's going on here with SRM, I almost did it. Keep up with everything that's going on with SRM. Please do give us a follow there on Twitter.
Should we start a fund that if every time we say the other word, we got to put $1 in the jar?
I mean, we were kind of thrown under the bus since you and me are the first two doing the first broadcast with SRM. So we were
with the other branding for so darn long. Anyways,
we got thrown to the wolves here as far as who's going to slip up first.
Pretty much. As you can also find us on simracingmedia.com, and you can find the podcast that we do weekly with Dave Regal and myself called The Money Stop, as we cover different topics in the sim racing and real world of motorsports every week and try to bring in interesting guests. You can find those on all your favorite streaming platforms for podcasts. As the field comes out of turn number 4, pace car getting ready for the hard left turn. There it goes as Jorick has the button one more time. Into the Geico restart zone they go. Green flag is out, and we are back underway.
Big block up there down on the bottom line. You saw Greg McConey have to pop out of that inside line. Thomas Aaron looking for his second position back. Scott Formosa, though, not giving him any sort of room on that outside line. Same thing with the 5 of Dustin Stallings as Mark McCrary slots in behind him. A little bit of a bump draft going there from Scott Formosa, from Dustin Stallings to Scott Formosa. That clears Formosa, at least for the moment, as they both really made it close going into turn 3.
That was putting a lot of faith in netcode, Frank.
Same again.
Formosa slams the door on Aaron coming through 4. Not a good thing, as Stallings now is under heavy pressure from Mark McCreary in the 88. And here comes the 3 of Garrett.
I think the owner made him mad by acknowledging that he was the one that left him. He was the one that was left out.
Well, no, he left Formosa out of the original.
Yep, and that was Formosa we were just watching.
And here comes McCreary trying to make his way forward as Matt Garrett just cleared Dustin Stallings.
There's Robert Walton in the 66 as well. Chase Leahy now just in front of the 66 of Walton. Dustin Stallings goes way to the outside in turn 3. Quite sure what that would have been, unless he's trying to find a spotter. He had gotten so close to the back of the 3 of Garrett that he couldn't see the corner entry and just drove in way too hard. Fortunately for him, only loses 1 spot.
He actually had some help from Matt Cherry, because Cherry was pushing him down the back straightaway, and I think that messed up his braking zone, and Stallings was shuffled back.
Ooh. Big tail slap there from the 11 of Nikolai Jardone.
That's a definite pucker moment, that's for sure.
Steven Sharik a little bit further up. This is for 11th. Between Sharik and the 83, Tyler Chalk in the 31. Ryan Zunk in 13th, just behind. Caution is out again. It looks like this time Nikolai Jardone is the one that's around. Chuck Chambly there as well in the 8.
Yeah, Chambly and Jardone were not that far off of each other. They did have the 25 separating them. Okay, that's what happened. Bo Condon actually got into the 8. The 11 absolutely nowhere to go. The 13 catches a piece of it, as does the 99.
There it is. There's the 25 getting into the left rear corner. And Jardone, who we had seen, somebody else. Liszczynski catches a piece of it. I think it might have been Kyle Newkirk in the 20.
It was.
That caught some of it as well. Or it's Ryan Harrison was the one. Get a better look at this. This from Harrison's perspective. There you see the 8 going sideways and the 11 comes up into the wall. Nothing you could do.
Yeah, that was one of those Waffle House moments where the track is just scattered, smothered, and covered with wreckage. And Frank, I'm going to go talk to the man in the big booth and see if I can get any indication as to what is going on with the 06.
Walton is still out on track, by the way. Bo Condon, Ryan Harrison, Steven Liszczynski. Waltman coming down pit road now, so anything that has happened, or that would have happened by now with that 06. And there's, again, the reason why we're putting so much emphasis on it is because it is a rather stiff penalty. One incident and you're done.
Well, they charged him with that crash.
But also it's also the playoff implications for a guy who has had so much success this season, has been up towards the front all season long. To be knocked out of the first round of the playoffs is quite substantial.
Well, let me go ask the admin what's going on here. We'll be right back.
So we are under caution for the second time here tonight from Indianapolis. Just about halfway through this first stage. Again, stage breaks will be at lap 30 and 60 here tonight. Final race in the round of 16. Round of 12 will begin next week at Michigan in the trucks. Then it will be the iRacing Super Speedway in the Xfinity cars, and then Darlington will close out round number 2 of the playoffs. Interesting to note as well, during the iRacing update today, the aero model for these cars was updated, as well as the track limits for Darlington were also updated during today's update. Round of 8 will see the Charlotte Oval in the trucks, Pocono in the Xfinity cars, and the Nashville Super Speedway in the Cup cars here, before the season finale on the 5th of October at Texas in these Cup cars, as we are about set to go back to green flag again. 75 miles an hour here under pace speed. It's still quite a long way around this place.
It absolutely is. And I was up talking with Justin White up in the race control booth. That is the one and only caution that was the mulligan right there. And Jake Waltman is now, if he causes another caution for the remainder of the season, he will be suspended for one race. As it stands currently, he cannot lay a qualifying time down in any of the remaining races this season, and currently is on a 10-race probation at the start of next season.
And again, this all going back to, well, one, the issue between himself and the 25 at Rockingham, if you remember that, and then also the antics at the end of the race at, at the end of the first stage at Road America last week, and during the stage as well. So that is why, again, the strictness of the penalty, as Nikolai Jardone has called it an evening here after that incident.
He has, as the field working its way through the north end, the short chute in between 3 and 4. Jorick has the button as Thomas Aaron, Scott Famosa, Mark McCreary, and Matt Garrett going to round out your top 5 as field comes out at turn number 4 one more time, Frank.
Yep, absolutely, as we are getting set to go back to green flag racing here at Indianapolis. Pace car with the hard swing and drift to get down into pit road. And getting set, Jordan Jurassic brings them down. Green flag back in the air. We're racing again here at Indy.
Jurassic getting a good getaway as Aaron and McCreary now, as I take that back, McCreary and from most of the two Speed Kings teammates running door to door. Contact through the south turn.
Boy, that was 3 wide there for a moment. Matt Cherry snuck it up the middle between the 88 and the 80. And it's a miracle how those guys did not end up completely binning those cars.
Well, there is heavy damage on the 80. Is no.
See, no, I'm not seeing much on the 80. The 88 of McCreary.
The 88, yeah.
McCreary's really the only one that can afford to have that happen again after winning at Rockingham, locked into the next round. There's the 66.
Jeepers.
Yeah, the 66 of Robert Walton. His turn 4 is becoming quite the entertaining spot here at Indianapolis, as it tends to be. 3 wide now as well. Vielle, McConey, and Zunk through 1. Boy.
Good grief. These guys are racing it like it's a lap. And there we go.
Yep, caution is out. I believe David Hall. Nope.
Dustin Stallings.
That's not
clattered
good.
The wall on the south end.
Yep, there he is. Dustin Stallings. You see him on the outside there in the number 5.
Oh my.
See what happened here with Dustin.
Looks like he may have gotten some help.
I would have to assume with how close everyone was racing up there. Just going into turn 1. It's Tyler Chalk in the 31 behind him. He was slow. I saw a black car slow. Oh. Well, he had hit the wall, and that's why Chalk was down slow and low. He had gotten into the wall coming out of 2, and then Chalk just had nowhere to go.
Actually, that was going into 2. That was coming out of 1. That was the south.
Yeah,
that's the south end straight.
Right.
And
so there's
I mean, that's just one of those deals that, you know, you're on a run. You're trying to arc your turn, because you can, if you do it right, you can arc 1 and 2. And the 31 was trying to do that. Unfortunately for him, Dustin Stallings did get into the wall in the south end, the short chute between 1 and 2. And as he was trying to recover that car, the 31, absolutely nowhere to go, gets into him and lets him hit the wall again into.
There's Dustin Stallings trying to get into his pit box, and for him, season, as far as championship implications are concerned, pretty well over at this point. Came in 15th in points, had a very good run going the first 5th of this race. And just pushed it a little bit too hard in one corner, and that would be the end of it for him. Bo Condon appears to be coming in the back. Or not.
You know, you really hate to see that happen to anybody, but the luck that the 5 has had, Dustin Stallings has had 0 things go his way during this playoff.
You know, I mean, from taking a provisional last week, and then, you know, first lap, first corner in the playoffs at Rockingham, involved in an incident that put him effectively out of the race. This is could not have picked a worse time to have a bad couple of weeks. As Tyler Truex, you see him on the outside.
Frank, I'll be right back.
Laps back. As with that, we will take our first break here of the evening, working lap number 20 of 100 here at Indianapolis, just shy of the first stage break, our third caution of the night. We'll be back right after this.
Thanks again, guys, for coming out for demo day here at Chaladon and just going over hip start and how it's going to improve your swing. Hip start is really a key factor in getting that proper downswing. The beauty of hip start is you can change your swing.
Back here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Apologies for the no sound on the commercials there. We had a little bit of an issue setting up OBS here today, so that, as you heard towards the end of the block there, got corrected. But at the moment, we are still just about to the end of stage number 1. Green flag back in the air, 9 laps to go before the stage break. Jordan Jurassic, another great start, jumps up into the outside lane, blocks off Thomas Aaron, and that will allow Matt Garrett an opportunity to get to the inside of the 93.
Garrett on a charge right now, sideways going through 2.
Keeps it straight, at least for the moment. Everyone backs off, everyone fanning out, trying to let him gather it up, and does. What a save, Thomas Aaron.
They're 4 wide behind
they are.
him, though.
My goodness. Oh, ahead of them.
Still 4 wide.
Starting to
3
even
wide
out
now.
a little bit.
Good grief. That was a complete Waffle House situation, folks. It was hashtag Waffle House in the live chat if you like what you just saw.
Unbelievable save by Thomas Aaron, and boy, that caused one heck of a bottleneck down the back straightaway, leading to those 3 and 4 wide scenarios that we just saw. Ryan Truex starting to work his way through, or trying to at least, to the inside of Justin Clapper for 12th.
Clapper has a really good run going. It's one of the highest running positions he's had all season. Greg Vial in the 26, trying to make some headway right now. He's currently sitting plus 14. Still not your biggest mover of the night. That belongs to the man running in third, Matt Cherry. as he is plus 18, currently sitting in third.
And boy, that has gifted Jordan Jurassic one heck of a lead, who I'm sure is hoping that he sees no flags between now and the green and white checkered one that will come out at the end of lap 30. But what an incredible save, as now here comes Cole Gadgedoris to the inside in that Red Bull number 89 Ford Mustang, looking for position, now falling back with help of the draft. Roger DeBold has taken the spot, taken up to 10th for that number 38, and Ryan Truex into the wall out of one.
And Truex it's broken front suspension. That car is not wanting to turn.
Maybe he was able to keep it out of the fence in two.
And maybe he's just trying to stay up and out of the way, which is a good move. Here we go, almost 4 wide again. Don't do it.
It's Thomas Aaron. No, that front suspension still in place as Thomas Aaron working his way back forward after the contact with the 3 of Matt Garrett.
Works to the inside of the 23 of Zunk coming off of 4. Here comes Greg McConey to his outside now in that body armor number 12 Ford Mustang. Ford on the outside, Chevy on the inside, Ford in front, and McConey blows the corner entry.
McConey way deep, and that goes back to what we were talking about earlier on, with this being such a one-line racetrack. Even though it's big, it's wide, it's fast, it's still just one line to get through. As there we see Matt Cherry. We'll take a look at this here from the restart. Watch the 3 of Matt Garrett. Here goes the restart. Jurassic gets the jump, as you would expect from the leader. Watch the big tower. Matt Garrett going into turn 1. Everything looking okay. Pushing up a little bit. Coming through 2 is where the contact is going to be. Garrett gets just such a good run going through turn 2, and this is going to bottleneck everything up for Thomas Aaron. Cars trying to fan out, trying to stay away from him, and that leads to some guys trying to take advantage of an interesting situation. The 83 goes through, so does the 34. The 26 of Greg Vielle also had a very good run, but a big save at the start of this run here for that number 93.
He is at that, and then the 93 doing what he can to try to get back up there, and that was just oy vey.
Cole Gadgedoris getting around Justin Clapper for 11th. There you see that 93 poking his nose out. Going down into turn number 1, the 66 of Robert Walton doing the same. The 23 of Ryan Zunk on the outside. Zunk will lose the spot to Walton.
Aaron with a good shove down the back straightaway from Greg McConey, as it looks like Walton trying to play both halves against the middle. Drops down, slams the door on Aaron, as Aaron now side by side with the 23 of Zunk coming through the north end and into turn number 4.
Zunk does get the spot, though. A very good run out of turn 3 as Greg McConey heads down pit roads, as does J.D. Woodward, the 2 teammates. Number 12, number 47, pitting here just before the end of the stage.
Well, they were far enough back that they weren't really getting stage points anyways, but with this pit strategy, with the pits closing the next time by, they're not going to have to pit under the stage caution, or maybe just come in for a splash and go when everybody else comes in. They're going to have the pit strategy to start closer to the front and have a better shot at stage number 2.
See Scott Formosa looking for third position. That would be on the 54 of Cherry. Formosa, sensing the 54 was going to catch the wall, had a big wiggle coming out of turn 4. 2 laps to go here until the end of the stage. Tyler Chalk on the outside line, getting a very good run against that 80s. This second group here, though, quite jumbled up. Roger DeBold gets out in front of it. Steven Sharik in second. The 34 of Chase Leahy and Seth Gadjadoris in this little 7-car group here. 8-car
They are at that as Gadjadoris needs a good finish here to promote himself into the round of 12. Relatively safe, but just needs a good finish, top 15, and he should move on. Little bit of a check up there as Gadjadoris was sideways coming through 3. And as the field comes his way down the front straightaway, white flag in the air for this stage.
The final lap of the stage is upon us here as Seth Gadjadoris falling all the way back to 11th, so out of the stage points, not what he needed. Going to lose another spot to Cole Gadjadoris. And again, these two, Cole is out by 2 points to that number 4. So that is a big, meaningful position between those two. Ryan Truex, after hitting the wall in between turns 1 and 2, looking for a spot on Chase Leahy for 9th, but coming through turns 3 and 4 right now, trying to put J.D. Woodward a lap down and not succeeding, coming out of turn 4. His first laps turned in the series since the opening round at Daytona. Jordan Jurassic, a dominant first stage here at Indianapolis. He will take the stage win.
And I would love to be a fly on the wall at breakfast tomorrow, considering Cole Gadjadoris just edged out Seth for that 11th spot. I'm sorry, Seth edged out Cole. If one of these guys makes it into the round of 12 and the other one doesn't, I definitely want to be there when they have breakfast tomorrow morning.
No stage points for beyond 10th. So those two just looking to see where they're going to line up.
Yeah, but that's a 2-point deficit in the finishing order at the end of this race between the two. And there's only 2 points separating the two. What happens if we get a tie for 12th and those two are in it?
We will certainly find out in 70 laps time, but we will now try to bring somebody in here. And that somebody would be the man who currently sits in the second position, if we can find him. Yes, we can. Right now, we will bring in the second place finisher in that stage quickly before he goes down pit road. Matt Garrett. Tony, you're with him.
Matt Garrett, good drive there in the first stage as, you just clawed your way through that field. +5 currently. What do you need to do to seal the deal tonight here at Indy?
Indy, real tricky track. We just got to take care of the tires, keep hitting our marks, be nice and smooth on the throttle. It's real important. Just be under control the whole time. Try to save that right front.
All right, Matt. Again, we're going to let you go back and concentrate on letting your team hit this pit stop perfect. We will hopefully be talking to you. Go ahead.
Before we let you go back, Matt, really quick, what happened in that incident with you and the 93?
Well, everybody is real eager on these restarts because it's real hard to pass under green, so everybody's trying to get everything they can on the hit. 73 thought he was cleared, was not. So we're lucky we both saved it there.
Well, there you go, Matt. It's still a long way down pit road. Now we'll let you go. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
That was why we brought Matt Garrett in, to see his perspective of that incident. Also helped finishing second.
It does that.
So the guys down pit road, and Garrett blows the box. Well out of the booth by that point, just
yeah,
just for that.
Looks like the 3 cars electing to stay out after coming down. Jake Waltman was last out on lap 14 for that caution. McConey and Woodward pitting back on lap 27. And there you go, pit strategy playing its part. Waltman plus 25, McConey at plus 16, J.D. Woodward now plus 9. As Jordan Jurassic does win the battle off pit road. Looks like 4 in fuel for everybody.
As you would expect. So again, as Tony had mentioned, Jake Waltman down pit road on lap 14. Staying out to take the lead of this race. Greg McConey and J.D. Woodward, who came into pit just before the stage to gain track position, have seen that strategy work wonders for them. They will start possibly first and second, if not definitely second and third, here to begin this second stage. So there you see that Exalta number 6 of Jordan Jurassic. This will be the first time he is not in control of a restart here tonight.
It'll also be the first time Jake Waltman has had clean track in front of him.
Now the drivers starting in first and fourth here on this restart, Jake Waltman and Jordan Jurassic. These are the 2 fastest in the practice session. So now with Waltman having fresh air, and again, as we had heard clarification earlier with Tony, the 06 of Waltman not being able to take part in qualifying
for the remainder of this season.
Yeah, for the remainder of the season.
And a 10-race probation to start next season as well.
Well, I think I'm not sure if that's entirely correct. I think it might be.
That's what Justin White told me.
Oh, well, there you go.
A 10-race probation to start season, the next season. And he's on probation for the rest of this season. If he causes another caution, he'll be parked for the remainder of that race and the one following it.
Yep. So it'll be Waltman and McConey first and second, Woodward and Jurassic in row number 2. Row 3 goes to Roger DeBold and Scott Formosa. Matt Garrett, who we saw overshoot the box, will start 8th alongside of Mark McCreary. And we've seen it from our end. Matt Garrett saying during the stage there, it is quite chippy on these restarts, as guys know it's the best opportunity to gain a good amount of spots. They're taking full advantage of it here early on in this race.
They're absolutely going to try to. As the field comes out of the north turn through turn 4, the pace car getting ready to haul it on off. And Ford Mustang GT500, the official pace car of iRacing. Jake Waltman's Ford Mustang going to have the control button as the pace car does peel on off. Into the Geico restart zone we go. Waltman waits on it, and finally jumps on the loud pedal.
Green flag back in the air. A very good start there from Greg McConey as well. Boy, a big swing down to the inside. Jordan Jurassic got a great start over J.D. Woodward. Jurassic to the inside. Waltman and McConey still side by side.
McConey on the top shelf, Ford on Ford crime here as that Coors Ford Mustang of Waltman looking to get one. Almost contact coming out of 2. That was definitely a pucker moment for Jordan Jurassic. As here comes the 47 of Woodward as well. Still too wide for the lead up front.
Jurassic just cannot find a way to get through these 2. And again, lap 14 for Jake Waltman is when he came into pit. McConey and Woodward came in on lap 27 just before pits were closed prior to the end of the stage. So there is a tire advantage there, which is probably why McConey's able to keep up on that outside line. A big push there by Jordan Jurassic pushes him out to the lead at the end of lap 35. And now McConey finds himself in clear racetrack.
Almost getting into each other, coming through turn 1 into turn 2 they go. That's Waltman on the low side. Your pole sitter Jurassic on the top shelf. 2 of the fastest cars in the building right now. Still side by side as McConey leads him through the Indy Snake. Here comes the 3 of Garrett trying to make some headway as he gets by J.D. Woodward. Now slots in behind Waltman going through 3.
Matt Garrett, remember, restarted in 8th on this most recent restart. J.D. Woodward now looking to the inside of the 3, looking for 4th again, as Jurassic and Waltman battle side by side here for 2nd, allowing McConey to get away. McConey out in front to the tune of 0.8 of a second.
McConey seeing what's going on in his rearview mirror, and for that matter, McConey just set the fastest Sector 2 time. Into the wall goes Waltman,
Jurassic.
No, that was Jurassic into the wall coming through 1 as now
out of the back. That's Justin Clapper. Clapper
Big
hard
jump.
into the inside wall.
Oh.
Yeah, contact with the 83. And Clapper hit that inside wall hard.
Oy. Luckily, it was a safer barrier that got him, and not the concrete that would have been another 10 yards down the road.
See what happened here. Justin Clapper again battling with Steven Sharik in the 83. Oof. It looked like Clapper just pushed up a little bit too much. They were 3 wide coming out of turn 2. We'll jump on board here.
Clapper's the one that threw it 3 wide.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, Sharik was the meat in the sandwich. Again, Doris is out there on the outside, too. And Clapper was skating that car on the exit of 2 already. He was trying to chase it, and there was no room.
That was a little close there. We'll back it up a little bit more here. This is going down the front straightaway on board with Justin Clapper. There you see the 83 in front. Chase Leahy there as well. Clapper gives a shot to the 83. Boy,
83 does what he can to try to stay off the 34. And Clapper, well, he was trying to chase it as loose as he was, just unfortunately, the 83 was there, and boom goes the dynamite.
Yeah, one more angle of this is 93 of Thomas Aaron also just about had a big moment there getting into the back of him, and you heard the 3 of Garrett allude to it, that these restarts have been chippy, and that was some of it right there.
It absolutely was, and unfortunately, Clapper is going to have to come down pit road, spend a little bit of time getting that left front suspension fixed. So, and race control is putting that one on Clapper.
Greg McConey and Jake Waltman, the 2 highest running playoff drivers at the moment. We know Waltman is effectively in a win and you're in situation. Greg McConey is on the inside of the top 12. However, he is certainly not secure. He's 6 points away from the cutoff line. This win or a solid finish, either one, would do absolutely wonders to get him into the round of 12. J.D. Woodward is solidly in. Roger DeBold running in 10th. Let's just make it easier. Let's throw the standings up here. Thomas Aaron, again, can afford to have a bad race here, effectively pointing his way in after such a solid run last week at Road America. Mark McCreary is locked in. J.D. Woodward's good. But right now, the 12 of McConey running in 11th, 6 points clear of the cutoff.
This is a track that really owes him one, too.
Yes.
As, we've seen him here in other series. This track owes him a mulligan. And he's doing what he can to try to collect that debt here tonight.
Certainly is. So it will be, as the lights go out on the pace car, Jordan Jurassic will look to the inside here as McConey elects the outside, which is interesting on this start. hoping he'll get a good enough start, I'm assuming.
Well, they got to be careful because there is actually no restart zone painted on the walls here at Indy yet, because iRacing reasons.
Why would there be?
Exactly. So these guys actually have to wait on the green to come out, and McConey electing to take that outside lane as the control car. No one can go until he goes. So he has to cross the finish line first, or else anyone else that does is going to get popped for jumping the restart.
It's by iRacing logic. You update one version of the racetrack and not the other. Why the heck not?
Sure, because reasons.
Especially when the version you didn't update was updated in the version you did update. You know, why?
Of course.
Why would you put it out? But anyway.
Because reasons. That's what we call it, because reasons. We don't have a straight answer for you. Your guess is as good as mine, folks.
So again, McConey and Jurassic on the front row. McConey, the control car. Matt Garrett and Jake Waltman in row 2. J.D. Woodward and Tyler Chalk in row number 3. And this outside line here should get a pretty decent start as we get set to go.
And the other thing to consider, Waltman has the oldest tires on track right now.
Yes, he does.
As the pace car is in, McConey drops the hammer as the green flag comes out. What a amazing getaway for the 12 right now, as Jurassic was not on it. And unfortunately, neither was Matt Garrett, as he's already hemorrhaging spots.
The question's going to be, was it too amazing now at this point? We'll see if the restart penalty is dished out to the 12. Tyler Chalk passed up by Roger DeBold. DeBold up to 6th right now in that Nitro Circus number 38 machine. Matt Garrett goes from 4th to 5th on that restart, and a little bit further back, side by side, that's Chase Leahy running in 12th currently. Cole Gadjadoris, again, one of the drivers on the outside looking in, looking for 11th.
McConey and Jordan Jurassic were going side by side, going through the short turn. Jake Waltman now is...
Waltman into 2nd. McConey back down to 3rd. Meanwhile, J.D. Woodward and Matt Garrett battle side by side. Roger DeBold right there as well. A very intrigued onlooker he is.
Garrett trying to use some side draft off of Woodward as McConey goes up to pick up his teammate. Down the back straightaway they come. Jurassic's Chevy starting to walk away from the 4 to Waltman and McConey. But where did Roger DeBold come from? Back up into the top 10, currently running in 6th.
Roger DeBold right now up 14 spots from where he started in that number 38. Again, the regular season champion here for the series. Clinched that away from the 06 of Jake Waltman just purely by starting at Richmond after Waltman was not able to attend that race. Cole Gadjadoris still side by side with Chase Leahy, only this time now they're battling for 12th as Thomas Aaron in the 93 has gotten past both of them.
He absolutely has at that as Woodward and McConey still going side by side as Woodward looks to the inside of McConey for 3rd, coming down the short chute, or coming down the backstretch. Into turn 3 they go, and here comes Matt Garrett on his recovery charge after chunking that restart.
That was interesting there out of McConey. I don't know if you saw it, but if you go back and take a look at it, that 12, there was some smoke coming out of the tires of that number 12 going into 3. Not sure if he was braking going into that corner, may have locked the tire up.
Ever so slightly, yeah. Yeah, he absolutely did.
Wasn't anything substantial, just a quick little puff. But enough for the keen-eyed viewer to see it as Ryan Zunk on the door of the 26 of Greg Vielle. Now is now is Jake Waltman for company. Seth Gajdoris there as well. And that number 4, Greg Vielle, just ahead of this group now as Ryan Zunk looks to the inside. 3 wide down the front straightaway. Matt Cherry in the 54. The 4 of Seth Gajdoris, Anthony Burleson in the 79, looks to the inside, will get one of those spots. Burleson looking very quick right now in that 79.
And right now they're calling out Roger DeBold for having connection issues.
Yep.
Nobody really happy with him right now, as he's currently sitting in 6th, as McConey and Chalk are all around him. And here comes Aaron to the inside of the 31 of Chalk.
It's a big swing down to the inside by Thomas Aaron coming out of turn 2. We have seen some of those connection issues from Roger DeBold, not just tonight, but over the course of this season. He has had those problems. J.D. Woodward right there with Matt Garrett in the 3, but the passes are happening just behind them as Roger DeBold and Thomas Aaron both get around Greg McConey going into turn 1. Tyler Chalk looking to follow him through. Doesn't get to the corner in time.
McConey unfortunately got suckered on that inside coming off of 4. That's not where you really want to be in these cars, because everybody's going to try to use the draft on the top side, and there were 3 cars stacked up there. McConey just got shuffled back, and the hemorrhaging is going to continue as the 31 of Chalk is being kind to drop down to pick up McConey, as here comes Truex to the inside of the 12.
Ryan Truex, we saw him get into the wall in the middle of turns 1 and 2 earlier on tonight. He's able to keep that right front tire intact. A little bit further ahead, side by side, Matt Garrett jumps up into the 3rd spot around J.D. Woodward.
As McConey and Gajdoris still go door to door. McConey may have gone way too hard, way too soon on those tires on the last the restart, because he's handling right now like he has completely smoked the right front tires. Cole Gajdoris, Scott Famosa all over each other right now. Speed Kings teammates of Famosa and Carey trying to make their way back towards the front.
Now, we had mentioned earlier on that it appeared as though he had slid the tire going into turn 3. Just goes to show how much he has been pushing this car. So take a look a little bit further back. Let's jump on the nose of Chase Leahy. Right down on the racetrack, dead center of the car, right above the splitter is where this camera is located. Great view of the run. You also get a great view of the rear diffuser on these cars. As the 80 get a great view of Cole Gajdoris just about losing it as well.
And I think that was a Code Brown moment for everybody around him, as here comes the 34 Leahy to the outside of McCreary. And Gajdoris goes up to pick up the 34, trying to give him a toe down the back chute. The 88 going to lose out on that one, as right behind them, that is Matt Cherry trying to claw his way back through the field in the 54.
23 and 26. 26 of Vielle, 23 of Zunk, also battling side by side. Vielle not safe in the playoffs. 9th place in points coming into this race. Ryan Zunk in a completely different situation, 4th at the moment. Side by side up in front of the field, J.D. Woodward trying to avoid falling back a little bit further. A little bit of contact there between himself and the 38. 38 gets into the wall, coming through 1 and 2. That will allow Tyler Chalk to get through the middle of both of them.
Ouch. That is not what Roger DeBold wanted. Chalk and DeBold now trying to deal with Ryan Truex. Truex working with that Chevy in front of him, as both those drivers running, I believe, for Ryan Truex Racing here tonight. Or for Tyler Truex Racing, I'm sorry. Here comes DeBold back on the top shelf as Chalk. No help right now as Ryan Truex is trying to play both halves against the middle, it looks like.
Saw him working with Chalk down the back straightaway. Now looks to see if he can push DeBold. He pushes DeBold but can't help himself. in that regard. Truex right now running in 7th. Jordan Jurassic, by the way, out in front of this field, has opened up a 2.7 second lead over the rest of this field as we have 11 laps to go before we hit the end of stage number 2.
We have, and you know, we've seen some awesome racing here tonight. And I would like to remind everybody that if you're looking to, if you have a small business or a big business and you want your business advertised here on Sim Racing Media, this is one of the many leagues that we have that are looking for series sponsors for next season. Also race sponsors, pole sponsors, whatever you want to sponsor, they're willing to work with you. You just need to reach out to Justin Clapper. And Frank, if we could bring him up on the...
we can bring him up in a minute as around goes the 47 of J.D. Woodward. Hard into the wall, the 89 of Cole Gadjadoris, the 66 of Robert Walton. Things just stay chippy. J.D. Woodward, I'm sure, doesn't realize that maybe his left rear suspension's broken there.
Yeah, it most definitely is. As he got a little sideways. The 89 got sideways. 66, nowhere to go.
We'll see this incident here. Again, we were following along with this group here. It happened just behind. You saw the 89, the 34 involved, the 66 just nose punt into the mix.
34 of Chase Leahy, nowhere to go.
47 gets loose. 89 got loose.
I can hear this in stereo as you and Justin White in the control tower are telling me the exact same thing at the exact same time.
There you go. Robert Walton also involved in that.
And he is calling that a racing deal. It was just drivers trying to drive their cars. You know, the first thing they teach you in pilot school for flying airplanes is fly the plane.
It's on board of Robert Walton. A lap too early. Let's try this one. There we go. Walton just behind McCreary. As, boy, both the Speed Kings cars picked right. And unfortunately for Walton, he picked the other way and wrong door.
So now for the bad news.
Jurassic's 3-second lead is gone?
No. The bad news. He can get that back, trust me. The bad news. Cole Gadjadoris was sitting on the outside looking in tonight.
Yep.
And he just put it on the hauler.
So Cole Gadjadoris done. Dustin Stallings done. Tyler Truex getting another lap back. Now, when Tyler Truex's excursion began, he was 6 laps down. He is now just 2 laps down in that number 69.
Due to still being the first car 1 or more laps down. So he's done what he needs to do tonight. And I mean, he's definitely had a tumultuous night, but he's doing what he needs to do. Try to gain as many points as he possibly can. But, you know, right now, Jordan Jurassic looking to play spoiler here tonight. Matt Garrett looking to get his first victory on the season. Looking to play spoiler as well, as Garrett unfortunately did miss the playoffs. But, you know, Thomas Aaron, another strong run out of that 93 as he's back in third. After crashing, he is back in third, folks.
Well, just about crashing.
Well, almost crashing, having a lot of help and getting sideways and whatnot.
almost kind of maybe possibly could have. So it's Jordan Jurassic out in front here still. We're going to have 6 laps to go before the end of the stage. Drivers in trouble as far as the playoffs are concerned. Jake Waltman, we know, has to effectively win to get in. Dustin Stallings out. Cole Gedgedoris out. Robert Walton with damage. A lot of nose damage you see there on the 66 of Robert Walton after effectively straight dead center on the nose with the 47 of J.D. Woodward. So depending upon how he finishes and whether or not Jake Waltman can win, would almost seem as though everyone coming into this race in the top 12 in points is going to be safe going into the first race of the round of 12 next week in the trucks at Michigan.
Well, here's the situation with Waltman right now. He did come down pit road under this caution, as did Zunk, Harrison, and company there. Waltman is going to restart back in 22nd on the high line right next to Ryan Zunk.
Jordan Jurassic once again will be in control of the restart, and once again Matt Garrett and Thomas Aaron will be in rows 1 and 2 on the restart. Saw how that worked out for one of those two the last time through, as we now get set to go back to green flag racing yet again. There goes Jurassic. There goes Thomas Aaron, just to the inside now of the 3. Roger DeBolt giving Garrett quite the push going into turn 1. Garrett back out to second.
Garrett in second, but Aaron looking to the inside down the south end, and we are back under caution.
Yes, we are towards the back of the field.
Oh boy. Robert Walton.
Yep, Robert Walton. And we were just saying, too, that he is just
inside.
Just outside.
Or we're just outside looking in as... Oy.
See what happened there.
Come on.
See what happened there.
With
it's the 26 of Greg Vielle. And Vielle hooks him.
With a teammate like that, you don't need a proctologist.
Again, Vielle on the inside looking out. Vielle coming into tonight in 9th in points. A good number of points clear, so that's not necessarily an issue that Vielle needed to have. All 3 of the 4 drivers on the outside looking in have run into issues, and we're just past halfway. I believe this is going to be a short caution here, so we can get at least 1 lap of racing in before we call the end of the stage.
They did say this is not the stage. Yep. Also, trying to avoid that mess, Anthony Burleson and Chuck Chambly got into each other through that same south turn.
Take a look back and see what happened with those guys. Chambly running in 13th, Burleson running in 12th. Take a look and see here what happened with those two. Burleson in the 79, Chambly in the 8. There's the incident in front, and that's Burleson just trying to stay out of the back of the 26. 8 not able to react in enough time. A lot of guys foregoing the stage to come down pit road here. Thomas Aaron, Matt Garrett, Tyler Chalk, David Hall, Chase Leahy, Greg Vielle, Ryan Zunk, all foregoing the stage to make it to where they do
look
not
who
have
won
to
the
pit.
pony. So the interloper Jordan Jurassic gonna lead us back to green. Chase contender Roger DeBold, chase contender Ryan Truex, chase contender Scott Famosa, Greg McConey, and Mark McCreary. That is your top 6, folks. And they are all going to take a shot at this 6 to try to get the bonus points for this stage.
Bo Condon also had an issue there. We were just showing down the back straightaway, him trying to suss out what happened to that 25. A lot of front end damage, broken right front suspension for Bo Condon. And again, we had mentioned earlier, his father in the hospital right now, dealing with an issue. And there goes
Steven Sharik going to get back on the lead lap.
Tyler Truex getting a lap as well.
I'm sorry, that was Tyler Truex. I do apologize.
So Tyler Truex has once again fought his way back 5 laps into this race. And he's going to get his lap. He'll be back on the lead lap in the next... Boy, if you don't bin it here, son. We'll be back on the lead lap momentarily because the stage caution's coming out.
So we're going to have a green-white checker finish for the stage. Those are always exciting.
Absolutely, especially with how crazy restarts have been for this race. Yeah, I'm sure. Jordan Jurassic and Roger DeBold will make up the front row. Row 2 goes to Ryan Truex and Scott Formosa. Greg McConey and Mark McCreary will be the first 3 rows where these drivers come into this restart in points. Roger DeBold 10th, Ryan Truex 5th, Scott Formosa in 7th. Sorry, Ryan Truex is 4th in points, pardon me, and Greg McConey 11th.
McConey just needs a good finish. And he's sitting top 5 right now. He just got to race smart, and realize that he doesn't have to win this race. He just needs to finish basically a top 15 will lock him in.
Certainly easier said than done, as Jordan Jurassic will once again lead the field down. That 6 took the pole, second fastest in practice, sat on pole. Winner of stage number 1.
They did clarify the restart procedure. It is on the leader.
Yes, okay, so there you go. So leader's discretion. Jordan Jurassic leads them down. Green flag in the air. That will push DeBold back into the clutches of Ryan Truex here for second. DeBold clears himself, Jurassic, clears himself going into turn 1. Ryan Truex up to second.
Truex up to second as the 80 of Formosa works the inside of McConey, getting the spot away from him, and right behind him, that's Matt Cherry working on Mark McCreary. Those two guys are desperately trying to hang on to their spots as it's Indy Snake time.
Yes, it is. Jurassic doing everything he can to break that draft on Ryan Truex. We have 2 laps to go, well, a lap and a quarter really, to go here before the end of stage 2. Jurassic really sent it into turn 3 deep, but exit was hard for Ryan Truex and for Roger DeBold. Both of those guys catching the fence. Scott Formosa now looking for third.
Formosa and DeBold drag race down the front straightaway as Truex doing what he can. He's just holding that car straight, not wanting to play that Indy Snake game, as Formosa and DeBold still side by side for third. Formosa going to wrestle it away, going through the short chute at the south end. And now Formosa, DeBold able to battle back on the top side as Formosa had to catch it.
A big slide on the exit of turn 1 for the 80. Here comes the 79 of Anthony Burleson. You see him down, but in the foreground, it's Jordan Jurassic trying to stay ahead of Ryan Truex going into turn number 3. Jurassic in the race lead. Ryan Truex following him coming out of turn number 3 and 4. Now through 4. Jurassic holds on. Will Truex get enough straight line speed to be able to take the green and white checkered flag. He will not. Jordan Jurassic on for the sweep. Here at Indianapolis, he wins stage number 2.
Jurassic, Truex, DeBold, Famosa, McCrary, Cherry, McConey, Burleson, Chambly, and Seth Gadjadoris getting points there. Steven Sharik again on the outside looking in this points battle.
Big points there for Greg McConey and for Seth Gadjadoris, who are at and one above the cutoff line, 7th and 10th for those two. But again, it is Jordan Jurassic taking the first and second stages here at Indianapolis. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You are watching race number 3, the cutoff race, here in the round of 16 for the ThunderClap Stock Car iRacing Series.
Hey, are you tired of your dog dragging in mud into your house? You got water laying in your yard? There's going to be a lot more water laying this spring. Now's the time to give us a call here at the office at 410-721-2342, and we'll be glad to take care of all your outdoor drainage needs.
Oh, you are not, you're not alone, no. Oh, you are not, you're not alone. You are not, you're not alone.
Thanks again, guys, for coming out for demo day here at Chaladon and just going over hip start and how it's going to improve your swing. Hip start is really a key factor in getting that proper downswing. The beauty of hip start is you can change your swing in less than an hour. Just put hip start on and you're going to notice a difference right away.
So before I was introduced to the hip start, my shots were kind of all over the place. Using the hip start, I definitely noticed more consistency and getting that great tactile feedback, knowing when the proper moment to snap your hits has really helped with getting my shot a lot more consistent. And I just feel more confident whenever I go out to the golf course with my friends.
Before you even grab a club out of your bag, we're using hip start to warm up. Put it on and get that feel and just fire the hips. Make sure that hip's turning and make sure the hip's firing through with hip start.
I'm able to hit the ball a lot straighter and a lot farther, and more importantly, consistently hit the ball. What I've seen today, I personally live by and swear by the hip start.
There you see the picturesque Indianapolis Motor Speedway, home to the cutoff race here in the round of 16 for the playoffs for the ThunderClap Stock Car iRacing Series. After tonight, the playoff field will be cut down to 12 as we head to Michigan International Speedway in the trucks next week to begin that round of 12 showdown. That split of pit road strategy has come into play. Thomas Aaron, Jake Waltman, Tyler Chalk, Ryan Harrison, Chase Leahy, David Hall, Ryan Zunk, and Greg Vial, who came into pit at the caution prior to the stage break, all stayed out here and will now be leading. The first car that came into pit under this stage break would be the 6 of Jordan Jurassic. He is lining up in 9th, so 4 full rows of race cars ahead of the man who has won both stages 1 and 2. However, the 2 drivers leading us back to green are no slouches. Thomas Aaron darn near won the pole. Jake Waltman was the fastest in practice, and we're back underway here at Indianapolis.
As immediately Tyler Chalk goes on the offensive as Waltman did not get the restart he absolutely needed, as he drops back to 4th, almost losing 5th, as well as Ryan Harrison all over. As Zunk and Hall go side by side, here comes Jordan
Jurassic trying to slice his way through, and does, as does the 3 of Matt Garrett, currently running in the 10th spot. Ryan Zunk getting very, very close with not just the 6 of Jurassic, but the 13 of Ryan Harrison as well. Harrison pushing up in turn 3. That will move Zunk to the inside looking for position. Zunk looking to get into the top 5 for the first time tonight. Jurassic looking to make it 3 wide with a run out of 4.
Somebody just clattered the wall.
Yeah, somebody blew up, I think. That's what I heard too. Well, in any event, there goes Ryan Zunk keeping his position on that 6 of Jurassic. A little bit further back in this group, Scott Famosa might be on the bottom of 3 wide here in a minute if he's not careful, as Greg McConey looks for the run. Look here at Matt Garrett, way down to the inside.
Garrett looking to do it all on his own as he works to the inside of the 23. Going to wrestle a spot away from him. Jurassic right in front of him has the run on Harrison. Harrison caught on that top shelf through 3 and 4. Not really where you want to be, as he's given plenty of room, knowing that those 2 guys around him are a little faster.
Racing here tonight has been absolutely manic as we ride on board with Greg McConey down this straightaway. And you can kind of tell from his point of view here just how much space you have and how quick you're going. 190 down the straightaways, as that's the 21 of David Hall getting into the fence, down into Matt Cherry. Both stay side by side, both stay straight.
Well, the 23 of Zunk also clattered the wall in the south end, and that kind of stacked up by Alan Harrison right behind him, as here comes McConey on a charge on Hall.
Looking to the inside of that number 21 at Liberty Chevrolet, and McConey gets the spot. Seth Gadjadoris, as we had mentioned earlier, 2 points to the good as far as points going into this race. Getting a stage point, finishing 10th in stage number 2. Now finds himself after the pit stop cycle, works itself out, finds himself in 18th position right now in that number 4.
And something is wrong with Scott Famosa's car.
Famosa may have caught the wall as he's starting to slowly work his way back, as there's Steven Sharik in the 83.
99 apologizing to Sharik, saying he's sorry about the contact, but unfortunately, Sharik saying, "Oh, it's all right, bud." But still, that battle up there for just outside the top 10 is sketchy.
That was McConey and Cherry. Cherry catching the wall coming out of turn 4. McConey had to make a big evasive maneuver coming out of turn 4. Cherry now trying to just keep from falling back enough. It's Mark McCreary in the 88, the 38 of Roger DeBold right there as well.
As is the 80 of Scott Famosa, as he now works to the outside of Hall.
Fastest lap of the race.
Definitely in trouble.
Fastest lap of the race put down last time by Jordan Jurassic as he works to the inside of Chase Leahy, trying to gain that 4th position. Jurassic a 52.50. Fastest lap of the night.
Good grief.
And not even close. Next
by
closest,
almost half a second.
Next closest is a 52.77. That was put down by the race leader, Thomas Aaron. McConey side by side now, or trying to go side by side with Greg Vielle in the 26.
McConey definitely putting the pressure on Vielle right now. Goes into the inside, coming through 2. McConey going to wrestle the spot away from Vielle, as Vielle was a little bit treacherous going through 2. And that's going to open the door for Cherry to look to the inside down the back straightaway as they haul it off into turn number 3.
Mark McCreary, you see from that camera angle there, McCreary very hesitant, tentative going down into turn 3 as everything
21 just hit the north turn wall.
Yep, as everything jumbles up. There's David Hall, as you had mentioned. See just a little bit of that right front damage on that 21. Stebold looks to the inside of Mark McCreary.
Stebold and McCreary still almost side by side. It's McCreary on the top shelf, going to try to get the run down the back straightaway here at Indy, but the 2 teammates are teaming up against him on that top shelf. That's McCreary and Famosa now running stem to stern with Sharik right on the door behind them.
All of the drivers on the outside looking in, except for Jake Waltman, have run into major issues that have put them either out or out of contention for this race. Jake Waltman needs to win in order to make it into the round of 12.
Oy.
He is running in 3rd right now, well 4th now, with Jordan Jurassic making the pass.
Famosa just had a big moment through 4, almost getting into a tail slapper. Steven Sharik putting pressure on the 80 right now, as meanwhile in front of him, that is Vielle and McCreary going door to door through turn 2.
Mark McCreary again safe after his win. Contact between the 88 and 26 coming out of turn number 2. McCreary, after the opening race win at Rockingham, safe to the next round.
I bet he's glad of that, considering that the rest of this tier of the playoffs, we've been referring to it as Murderer's Row, as Road America last week, Indy this week, both 2 very difficult tracks to be fast around.
Michigan next week in the trucks may as well be a super speedway race, and then you have an actual super speedway race at the iRacing Super Speedway in the Xfinity cars coming up in 2 weeks' time.
And J.D. Woodward just put it on the hauler.
Woodward was effectively mathematically safe, came into this race 3rd, so he shouldn't have too much of an issue moving on to the next round. Battle for 2nd starting to get close as Jordan Jurassic looks to the back of the 31 of Tyler Chalk. Again, there is a tire advantage there. So we'll pop it up on screen for you right now. Last time these guys came down pit road, there it is. Matt Garrett and Jordan Jurassic both coming down on lap 62 after the stage break. Aaron Chalk and Waltman coming down prior to the stage break as a little bit of contact between the 6 and the 31.
No harm, no foul.
Boy, that allows Waltman to jump right in.
Yes, it does, as Waltman with a good head of steam. The only Ford in the top 5 right now is that Coors Melling number 06. As Jordan Jurassic and Jake Waltman, battle of the sixes here, coming out at turn number 4. Give the advantage to the Exalta 6 as the 31 of Tyler Chalk jumped down as Waltman still putting the pressure on the 21. He knows he's got to be careful, but he's still driving like a man possessed.
Well, you got to be careful, but you also have to win if you're in his scenario. But then again, wrecking somebody for the win kind of negates the win.
Pretty much.
As Jurassic falling into the clutches of Waltman in that 06 has now lost about a half a second on Tyler Chalk. We are really later in the day here at Indianapolis, almost 6:30 in sim time PM. Track temperature has gone down quite a bit. It was 105 at the start of this race, down to 90. So grip is starting to come to these guys, which means this track is only going to get faster as this race wears on.
You're absolutely correct, Frank. And, I'm taking a look a little bit deeper back. DeBold, Roger DeBold, Steven Sharik, and Ryan Zunk going after each other now, and they got to be careful because they've got Tyler Truex right there as well.
Ryan Truex.
Sorry. No, that's Tyler.
Roger,
no, it is
caution's
Ryan.
Out.
Oh, boy.
It's Greg Vielle.
Oh, no.
And James Sharik.
And Dustin Stallings again.
Greg Vielle came into this race in 9th in points.
Ooh.
James Sharik coming in 8th.
My goodness.
Okay. See what happens here is Greg Vielle a little bit loose coming out of, he got turned by the 8 of Chambly.
Yeah, but that's not the bad part.
Formosa came very close and then back down the, oof.
Now you know why I said what I said.
Very hard hit for James Sharik in that 37. We'll drive on board with him here. Sees the incident happening. He's not on throttle and thought he was going to keep rolling down the racetrack and just didn't. Hard hit, I think, is to put it mildly. See this again here from high above as Vielle's already been hit. Formosa just about. Oh. Now this happened here just before, or after the caution had come out and had been out for a while. Scott Formosa's had a problem in the 80s. This is well after the incident.
Yeah, you're going to like what you're about to see.
Down in turn 3. Just on the grass and loops it around, coming back onto the track.
Very unfortunate there.
Almost got hit by the 20 of Kyle Newkirk.
Luckily, Newkirk was having connection issues as he blinked out. So, netcode saves the day.
Everybody down pit road. And, well, I should say everybody. Everybody except for the 8 of Chuck Chambly.
Chambly was last down on lap 62.
He's going
he's going to the tail end.
Yeah, he was going to have to anyway as the cause of the incident.
So they're giving Dustin Stallings the wave around as he was caught behind the 8. So that's going to help the 5, as unfortunately he was caught up in that piece. Bo Condon getting the lucky dog back on, back to only 4 laps down, sorry.
And again, just to further explain, the reason why the 5 is getting the wave around there is because the 8 is going to the back of the field after to serve an EOL for causing that incident. So him staying out would have blocked the 5 from being able to take the wave around that he would have gotten had the 8 had just come down pit road. So that's why the 5 is getting a wave around as well, as the 25 of Bo Condon gets the lucky dog.
So it's going to jumble up the field ever so slightly. And I'm hearing the in-sim chatter that it looks like Greg McConey may have been popped for speeding off.
25 of Bo Condon gets the free pass because Tyler Truex is back on the lead lap after that stage caution. So we ride on board with Bo Condon again, racing for his father tonight. His father in hospital right now with a blood infection. Watching from his room now.
Hi, Dad.
Certainly hope you get better soon, and
we're all pulling for you, sir.
Absolutely. Bo Condon, unfortunately, running in the 26th position at the moment.
But he's still running.
Exactly. Yes,
he's still out there, still going after it.
That's the most important part.
So it looks like everybody for Mr. Feelgoods and a full tank of Go Fast to close this piece out. We should be getting the restart with about 20 to go.
Should be the last one as well. Appreciate everyone who is here watching. There are quite a few of you. I'm sure if you've been watching this whole race, please put in the chat who you think is going to win. So we have 21 laps to go and quite a ways still left here at Indianapolis. Anything certainly can happen as Thomas Aaron jumps out to the race lead on the restart. Jordan Jurassic there, and almost side-by-side contact between the 06 of Waltman and the 3 of Garrett.
Garrett leaning on the 6 pretty hard. He knows the 6 is behind a barrel right now. Cannot get charged with another caution, or else that's it, game over. But Garrett was leaning on Waltman. Now has the pressure from Waltman as they're looking. Ooh, Garrett sends him down.
Oh, Garrett contact
going into 3. Waltman wisely backs out of it, but that's going to hem up the 88 of McCrary. McCrary now working by Waltman. And Waltman's kind of, oi!
That's the 3 of Garrett getting into the wall, coming out of turn 4. And I'm sure that was a little side nudge there from Waltman saying, dude, there's 21 to go and you're blocking me down the racetrack for 3rd. A little unnecessary as Mark McCreary now goes door to door with the 3 of Garrett.
Garrett on the top shelf, and McCrary leaning on him. 3 wide down the back straightaway, drag race.
Waltman takes the advantage. He'll get at least one spot going into turn 3. Chase Leahy on the outside, pushing Matt Garrett through. McCrary backs out going into the corner. Waltman will get the spot, at least for the moment. Leahy does not get the greatest of runs off of turn 3, but it's just enough to keep him side by side with him until they go into turn 4, where Waltman completes the pass.
The good news for anybody that is currently behind Ryan. Nope, I'm looking at the wrong car. Sorry. That's Leahy in the 34. Anybody that's behind him, with as flat as that nose is right now, he is probably going to be one of the safest pushers on track should it come to shove. as Jordan Jurassic just reset the fastest lap of the race.
52.48. Compare that to Thomas Aaron's 52.51. Best lap of the race, best personal lap of the race for each driver, currently cycling through at the top of the screen. Side by side between Leahy and McConey coming through turn 4.
McConey has the aero advantage, as that 34 is just a pug-nosed dog right now. And a little Ford-on-Ford action on the low side is Roger DeBold's Ford pushing McConey's Ford down the front chute.
McConey trying to get that spot and will. Again, McConey 6 points clear of the playoffs coming into this race. Running in the top 5 again. Roger DeBold in 10th place in points coming into tonight. Running in 7th now, looking for 6th going into turn 3.
DeBold looks to the inside of Leahy. Leahy caught on the top side with no help. Here comes the 26. That is a lap card, so not really for contention.
Of Greg Vielle. No, Vielle's in the pit still. I think that's the 23 of Zunk you're looking at there.
You are absolutely correct, sir, and my timing and scoring sucks.
Zunk with McCreary behind him. Now Zunk going into that 7th position around Chase Leahy, who hits the wall in between 1 and 2.
Ryan Truex back into the top 10 as he's got Steven Sharik all over his back bumper. McCreary, Truex, Sharik, all contenders right now as they haul it down the back straightaway. That is McCreary and Truex on the low side trying to work their way around the very wounded Chase Leahy.
Race lead getting close between Thomas Aaron and Jordan Jurassic. As Steven Sharik now looks for the spot as Leahy continues his backward slide. He's out of the top 10 now after getting passed by the 83 of Sharik on the inside. Jake Waltman
trying to claw his way back forward as well.
Jake Waltman gets around Matt Garrett. That would be for 3rd.
Scott Famosa right in line with Sharik as the 54 of Matt Cherry has gotten by him. As now the 34 continues its backslide. But Famosa with Anthony Burleson right behind him as the 54 of Cherry looks to the inside on Leahy. Leahy just continues to hemorrhage spots here in the closing laps as the aero damage is just too much to overcome, as that is Anthony Burleson really put the pressure on Famosa. Famosa tags the wall coming out 4, as does the 99 of Lachinski.
To go back to the 3rd race of the season at Auto Club to find the best finish of the season for the 54 of Matt Cherry. That would have been 4th place at Auto Club. His best finish in these cars would have been his last time out. That would have been at Richmond, P5. His best finish in the Cup car. For those of you joining us for the first time, drivers up on the top of the screen are highlighted in gold, are playoff contenders. So if your favorite driver is highlighted in gold, that means they are racing for the championship. There are 16 names highlighted in gold up at the top of the screen. After the next 15 laps, there will only be 12 as we head to Michigan in the trucks next week to start cutting the championship playoffs down even further. As Ryan Truex trying to work around behind Mark McCreary and Ryan Zunk.
And if you haven't done so already, give this video a thumbs up because it really helps share these videos with the YouTube algorithm. The more thumbs up a video gets, the more likely it is to appear on someone's homepage and be shared of, hey, you might like this. So if you haven't done so already, please hit that thumbs up. And while you're at it, if you haven't done so already, hit that like, favorite, and subscribe button and turn on bell notifications, because here at Sim Racing Media, we have racing 7 nights a week. A lot of double and a lot of triple headers, and some of the best racing you're going to find here in the iRacing servers.
And also at the top of the live chat there is our brand new the link to our brand new Twitter page, where you can keep up with everything that's going on here with the Esports Broadcasting Network. A couple of new schedules coming out. We have a start date for the Fired Up Esports League, or Fuel. We have a schedule for Sim Racers Edge that will be starting up this Thursday. Schedule should be coming soon for the Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series. You can find all of that information on our Twitter page as well. As Thomas Aaron's still up here at the front. Jordan Jurassic not putting a lot of pressure on him. However, he is letting him know that he is still there.
And they have carved out almost a 3-second gap back to your third place, Jake Waltman. The only problem is Waltman is running out of time, and he's running out of speed, being as that gap continues to widen up in front, as Matt Garrett a little too far back to help Waltman. And unfortunately for Garrett, that's Greg McConey that has reeled him in.
Somebody has gotten into, that's the 26 of Greg Vielle, slow on the outside, letting these guys go. Again, Vielle caught up in that last incident. 11 minutes on pit road for that number 26. James Sharik has been down pit road for the last 15 minutes after that incident. J.D. Woodward, Cole Gedgedoris, Justin Clapper, and Nikolai Jardone out of this race.
As we got a battle for 6, really starting to heat up as Ryan Truex throws it to the inside of Roger DeBold going into 1. He's got the 88 of McCrary right there with him, as is Steven Sharik in the 83. Oh. Big moment for McCrary.
Another big wiggle. We saw it a little bit earlier on. That 88 have a big moment. His grip starting to go away. No pit stop expected for the remainder of this race.
Battle for fourth starting to heat up as McConey was looking to the inside of Matt Garrett going into 3. Thought better of it. Just didn't quite have enough juice to throw it in there, as DeBold and Sharik go after each other coming off the 4.
Ryan Truex starting to get away out in front of those guys. 10 laps to go here at Indianapolis. 4 big tracks in a row left on the schedule. Again, Road America last week, Indianapolis this week, then Michigan and the iRacing Super Speedway before we go to probably one of the most difficult racetracks to put a cutoff race, Darlington.
Good grief.
To close out, that's the next time we will be here in these Cup cars. And again, we haven't made too much of a fuss about it here today, but the aero package for these next-gen cars just got updated earlier today, so these guys have been fighting that all race long, trying to figure out what these cars are going to do in certain situations. Also, a track update to Darlington, so that'll be interesting coming up in 3 weeks.
As Scott Famosa goes by his Speed Kings teammate in Mark McCrary, McCrary now falls back into the clutches of Matt Cherry. That battle is still intense, as here comes Famosa looking on DeBold going down the backstretch.
McConey was also looking to the inside of Matt Garrett for 4th going into 1. Here he is going into turn 3. McConey in the 12, Garrett in the 3. McConey having the run that he needed. Boy, don't want to ruin it.
Light touch for Garrett coming off of 4 as McConey almost used him up. Going to slide in behind him, not wanting to be, air quote, that guy. As behind him, that is Famosa looking to the inside of the bowl, going into 1. McCrary right there as well, as is the 54.
Ryan's
and the 23.
Oh, somebody in the wall. I think that's the 31 of Tyler Chalk. Spinning to the inside, keeping it straight on the access road, and the caution comes out. couldn't tow it to pit road fast enough. We saw Chalk lose it. And he came to rest on the access road to get out of the infield road course as he just lost it.
He cut it hard left coming off of 1 to try to stay out of the wall, and the back end just washed on him.
Inside the car here. There we go, now inside the car. Let's try that replay again, actually. This is... You can see just he's turning right, hard right, coming out of that corner. And again, this is the access road to get out of the infield road course, is where he was stopped and just could not tow it fast enough.
You know, the back end just washed out on him as he was coming off of 1. And once you get these cars more than maybe 5 degrees sideways, it's next to impossible to try to save them. Being as, you can see how short the spoilers are on these things. There is no above body ground airflow going. Nothing's pushing down on that car except the diffuser pulling it down. And once you go sideways, there's no air coming out of that diffuser.
Kind of interesting that we talk about the aero model, and then just all of a sudden, as Thomas Aaron goes down pit road, and a lot of guys go the other way. Jordan, well, maybe not as much as we thought. Waltman, Garrett, McConey, Ryan Truex decide to stay out, as does Tyler Truex and Chuck Chambly. Everybody else comes down pit road.
I don't think they were expecting that many guys to stay out.
Yeah.
The last time they were down was under the last caution back on lap 77. As this is going to get interesting. This is going to get very interesting. Is the 06 of Waltman going to have the trigger? And we're going to restart with about 3 to go. It should be. So Garrett, McConey, Truex, both the Truex is staying out.
Aaron just does win the race off of pit road.
So Aaron, relatively safe. He doesn't need to win the race. Just needs to come home with the top 10, and he's perfectly fine moving on to next week.
Came into this race as the overall points leader.
Right. Behind him, though, Steven Sharik, Scott Famosa, Matt Cherry, and Mark McCrary, all fighting for their playoff lives. And this is going to get very interesting as Waltman, your control car, when we do go back to green, is in an absolute must-win situation. As he had so many problems in the early parts of this racing, and parked himself early last week. He's in a must-win. Matt Garrett wants to play spoiler. Greg McConey, Ryan Truex, Tyler Truex, Ryan would love to play spoiler. So, or Tyler would like to play spoiler, I mean. Ryan, is relatively safe. He just needs a top 10 finish to move on to next week.
And to add to that with Jake Waltman, he's in a must-win situation with 2 strikes on him. And
2 strikes and a full count.
Yeah, two strikes on him, and 15-lap older tires in a cutoff race.
Right.
It's gonna get really dicey here in a couple of minutes. So right now, Jake Waltman, Matt Garrett, Greg McConey, Ryan and Tyler Truex, Chuck Chambly, and Ryan Harrison did not come into pit. The first car on fresh tires is the 93 outside row 4.
In the pulmonary hypertension awareness Chevy Camaro, that, of course, is Thomas Aaron.
That's a very apropos sponsor right now.
You think? I've been a big supporter of PH Aware for a long time now. And it's good to see one of those cars back out on track in one of the series that we were on.
So, guys, now's the time, I think, with 4 laps to go when we hit the line. Who's winning this thing? In the chat, there's a lot of opportunity to either bring home a trophy or hold a steering wheel in tears.
McLovin pulling for Jordan.
Jordan Jurassic.
Let's go JWoww. And I quote. As the field works its way out of turn number 4, pace car getting ready to haul it on off. And there it goes. Waltman has the button now that the pace car is on pit road. He's going to hold him down a little bit. Here comes Bo Condon looking to cold trickle the field.
Green flag out. Waltman gets the start that he needs. Garrett running in second. Ryan Truex gets to the outside of Greg McConey. McConey, though, on the inside line, able to get a little bit better of a run. The guys with fresh tires be a little bit desperate here.
They are, as we are going to be 3 to go next time across the yard of bricks. As the Truex cousins working together on that top shelf. And here comes Thomas Aaron and company. McConey's a sitting duck.
Yes, he is. Boy, wouldn't this be a coup for Tyler Truex with everything that he's been through here today. Now Thomas Aaron looks to the inside of Tyler Truex. Jordan Jurassic behind him. Jake Waltman 0.3 of a second to the good over Matt Garrett.
And it is an angry pack or a group of Hornets behind them as it's Steven Sharik trying to block both Chambly and Famosa. Goes to the inside of, Famosa goes to the inside of Chambly. And here comes the 54 Cherry on the inside of McConey.
Ryan
And McConey's
Truex.
about to get hemorrhaged.
Boy, Thomas Aaron and Jordan Jurassic both getting very close. Matt Garrett side by side for the race lead, but here comes Thomas Aaron with a run. Jake Waltman jumps back up to the outside. Thomas Aaron up to second. Matt Garrett with the race lead. Jordan Jurassic forces his way through as well. Now here comes Thomas Aaron for the race lead with 2 to go.
Fresh tires on the low side, old tires on the top shelf. As there goes Jurassic, Garrett's in trouble. As now Waltman is behind him, looking to get the draft. Thomas Aaron looking to win one here to put a stamp on the first round of the playoffs. Wants to come out of here with a victory. Jordan Jurassic looking to play spoiler as Garrett and Waltman go side by side through one.
Contact!
Garrett sideways, Waltman up in the air.
Waltman in the wall, backwards, caution comes out. Tyler Truex catches a piece of it. The 3, hard hit there for the 66 of Robert Walton. The 3 of Matt Garrett got loose coming out of turn 1, down into the 06 of Waltman.
And the 54 just finished him off.
And for Waltman, the championship hopes dashed after finishing second.
Okay, hold on.
Wait a second here.
I just saw something big.
Well, we'll take a look at the replay here.
That was all on Garrett as he was pinching down on Waltman.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
And the 54 nowhere to go.
Here it is. Just might have gotten a little bit of help from the 54. Might have.
Ooh.
Waltman around.
Watch that from Waltman's perspective. It's the 13.
He just
Harrison
saw that.
Guessed wrong.
Well, we'll take a look at it from above here. As Waltman and Garrett were going for it. Watch Waltman just pinches him down, gets loose. Oh, the 54, he didn't get loose. The 54 of Cherry ran him through. 3 of Garrett gets away, a little bit of side-by-side contact. And there's the 66 of Walton.
Nowhere to go, catches a piece of it.
Yep. Saw Ryan Harrison get into that wreck at the end. Here's the 66. Gets through it. Oh, and a little bit of contact from the 8 of Chambly. And the 20 of Kyle Newkirk had nowhere to go as well.
Absolutely nowhere to go. And, Harrison, that shot Harrison took was scary. And Greg McConey just came into pit, as did Ryan Truex.
Yeah, at this point,
So overtime is what we're going into.
Yes, we are.
There are still 17 cars on the lead lap. That's a big ask. As we're going to have 3 attempts at this green-white checker finish. And again, those of you unfamiliar with how that works, you really need to get out more. But green flag's going to come out. The field's going to restart the race. The leader has to come around to cross the yard of bricks to accept the white flag for us to race back to checkers. If not, we're going to rack them, stack them, and try it again up to 3 attempts. If we get through all 3 attempts and we still don't make it around for the white flag, field frozen, race over.
Reminder of the points scenario coming into tonight's race. Thomas Aaron leading the points and leading the race. He's well and surely in. Mark McCrary, by winning at Rockingham, is in. J.D. Woodward having trouble here today. Should have amassed enough points to get through. Ryan Zunk currently running in 5th. Ryan Truex just came into pit. He's running in 16th. Greg McConey in 17th. He's 11th in points. Robert Walton, Cole Gadgedoris, Dustin Stallings, and Jake Waltman all having issues. So the drivers who came into this race in the top 12 in points pretty much have had their positions locked in. Cole Gadgedoris will finish 29th. Dustin Stallings still on track. Cannot get any higher than 24th. Robert Walton, we just saw in pit road. He might be done. And Jake Waltman could possibly be done as well.
Jake Waltman has just put it on the hauler, as has Greg Vial.
So Waltman is done. I think Vial has put it on the hauler just as a, okay, everyone else has had an issue. I think I'm safe.
I mean, you got James Sharik, Cole Gadgedoris all behind him, so he's playing the odds here right now.
So will it be Thomas Aaron collecting his first win on the season since his win at Circuit of the Americas? Or will it be Jordan Jurassic, who has only run at Daytona to open up the season and finish 16th, but has had a very dominant Axalta Chevrolet ZL1 here today?
Thomas Aaron has been very strong in that pulmonary hypertension awareness Chevy Camaro. And don't look now, but that's Matt Cherry and Steven Sharik. Sharik would love to put a stamp on this cutoff round, coming home with a victory. He doesn't need it, but it would be a good feather in his cap moving into the round of 12.
Neither one of the Shariks have won, not James nor Steven. James out of this race. As we get set to go back to green flag racing here, green, white, checkered is upon us here at Indianapolis. Green flag is back in the air. A great start for Thomas Aaron. Puts him a quarter of a second ahead of Jordan Jurassic going into turn 1. Side by side, though, Steven Sharik and Matt Cherry go into turn 1.
Cherry on the top side, Sharik on the low side. Give the spot to Sharik on the podium, as that is Scott Famosa working on Ryan Zunk right now.
Famosa in the playoffs, pretty safe at the moment as Matt Cherry swings to the inside of Steven Sharik, looking for the final spot on the podium, his first podium of the season. Just a couple of laps away. Thomas Aaron, Jordan Jurassic hard into the wall coming out of turn 3.
The 54 of of Cherry also clattered the wall. That opened the door for Sharik to get back by him, as Cherry did the smart thing, went down and side drafted, as here comes Formosa to the inside again, trying to break the draft on the 23 of Zunk. Zunk looks to the inside of Formosa. That is your battle for 5th.
Zunk pushing up into the side of the 80. The 80. There goes Zunk sliding. He keeps the car straight, though, getting back onto the racetrack, just losing a couple of spots.
White flag is out. We're racing back to checkers, bud.
And a lot of momentum. Thomas Aaron down the back straightaway has 0.3 of a second on Jordan Jurassic. Aaron looking again for his second win of the season. Jurassic looking for his first in just his second race. Jurassic has had an incredible car, but when it mattered, Thomas Aaron had the track position coming out of turn number 4 down to the inside line. Thomas Aaron wins the final cutoff race here in Indianapolis. Thomas Aaron through.
Seth Gadjador is coming off of 4, got sent down pit road, and the left front suspension on that car is annihilated. Boy, what a finish.
Big race win for Thomas Aaron and a bunch of momentum going into the trucks at Michigan next week. Jordan Jurassic put up one heck of an effort to make it as close as it did, and Matt Cherry coming home in 3rd, his best finish of the season.
Did we just break the broadcaster's curse?
I don't know.
Because we talked to Cherry, and he finished on a podium.
No, we did not talk to Cherry. We talked to Garrett.
Oh, we did talk to Garrett. You're right. I apologize. I was thinking we broke the curse.
There's the
My bad.
There's the 4 of Seth Gadjadoris. See what happened with him. David Hall also had a piece of whatever happened there. There's Hall going through turn 3. He spins and loses it. And now here is what happens with Seth Gadjadoris hard into the pit wall, spinning down pit road. Doesn't hit anything in pit road, at least. Well, there you go. A very narrow pit road here, so very lucky to have not caught the end of the wall. As we have just seen about one of the most wild and intense races that we have ever seen here at Indianapolis. Just what a show, as there is Thomas Aaron. And the round of 16 has now been cut to the round of 12.
I couldn't think of a better place to actually do this. This was an amazing race tonight, Frank. And, I mean, everybody racing hard from start to finish, as looks like Aaron electing to do the Alan Kowicki style victory lap here.
Absolutely. As we'll drop him down in here. Tony, you should be with our race winner right now.
Thomas Aaron, congratulations. The Pulmonary Hypertension Awareness Chevy Camaro, top of the pile here at the Brickyard.
Oh, man, it means a lot to hear you say that, man. We won at COTA and got in the chase, or got in the playoffs, and then we've been running second in top 5s every week, and it just feels so good to get a win, especially the way we did it. You know, we fought for it, and man, it was fun.
It absolutely looked like it was a blast. You came into tonight as the points leader, putting an exclamation point on the round number 1 here in the playoffs. But next week, we go back to the trucks. Your thoughts going into trucks at the house that Penske built in Michigan?
The trucks are always fun. A lot of on throttle time there. So I'm a little concerned because the restarts might be even crazier than here. So we'll just have to stay out of trouble. You know, we won this week, but that don't really matter for next week because we're not locked into the round of 8. So we just got to be smart, just doing what we've been doing all season, and then we'll be right there at the end.
Just keep that Chevy Camaro for pulmonary hypertension awareness clean, and you should be good to go. We're going to let you go celebrate with your team, but Thomas, who do you need to thank for tonight's victory?
Oh man, I gotta thank my friend Anthony, Tyler, my friend Yesenia, my friend Joey, everybody in the Discord over there. I know they're watching, and man, I hope y'all enjoyed that one. That one was a lot of fun.
Again, congratulations, Thomas, putting your stamp on this round number 1, coming into this points leader, leaving with the victory. You not only won the battle, you won the war for round number 1. Let's see what happens in round number 2. Best of luck to you next week in the trucks.
Thanks, guys. It was a hell of a race. I hope y'all enjoyed it.
So that was Thomas Aaron, our race winner. And Frank, I believe you've got Jordan Jurassic with you now.
I do. Jordan, a great run. Unfortunately, just did not have the track position at the time you needed it.
Yeah, it was a very solid race today. I wasn't expecting to have this sort of dominance going into this race. I didn't even make one change on the setup. It just I used it how it was on the iRacing side and just got it out of the hauler and ran on track, and it ran some very good lap times.
Now, there was a handling model update to these cars earlier today. Could you feel any difference in the car, the way it handled from today that it did, say, last time you drove these?
I would say so, because I usually have a problem like burning up my right front in the next gen cars, and I would just get way too tight at the end. But with the new update, it kind of didn't really burn the right front as much as it, and I could actually get that right rear to start burning off and turning in the corners, which really helped me. I guess that actually helped me run up front tonight.
All right, this is only your second race of the season, and I'm sure everyone's very busy here. Is there a chance you're going to make it to another race this season?
Possibly not. I've been busy racing other leagues, and we had an off week for that league, and I just wanted to come run, just stay active, and just come run this league. I know there's a very competitive, a lot of cars in here, and I just wanted to be able to come prove myself.
Well, that you certainly did. Jordan, anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I would like to thank my JCR teammates. They're always with me every step of the way, and yeah, it was a great race today. We didn't get the finish we wanted, but we got both stage wins, pole, and yeah, it was a great race.
Did not finish a session lower than second place here tonight. Second in practice, pole, 2 stage wins, and a second place in the race. Jordan, congratulations, bud.
Appreciate it.
And that will leave Tony now with our third place finisher. That would be Matt Cherry.
Matt Cherry, what a run you just put up, my friend. Biggest mover award plus 18. Didn't get the qualifying attempt that you really wanted, but when it all mattered to it, you really drove that thing to the front here tonight.
Oh, yeah. At the beginning of the race, I made up like 15 spots in like the first 15 laps, and we got up there and got some stage points, but I pitted and got back there in the field, and it was just extremely tight all night. There wasn't much I could do, so most of our spots were gained on pit road tonight.
Yeah, they absolutely were, and Matt, the iRacing server got updated today. This car received a different aero package. What's the difference that you could feel, if any?
I mean, the draft is much more stronger, but like if you get side by side with somebody going down the straightaway, it just drags you both back. I mean, you can beat that car on your outside off into the corner, but I mean, you both just slow down like way too much.
Which is probably why we saw a lot of drivers, yourself included, go way down towards the infield grass when trying to make a pass on the backstretch.
Yeah, because like that side force there, I mean, it's just terrible. I mean, I don't know if the cars in real life do it like that, but I don't know.
Well, Matt, we go to a completely different animal next week. We're back in the trucks and we're at Michigan. What are your thoughts going into the Irish Hills next week?
Oh, I love Michigan. I'm pretty fast there, so I'm gonna look forward to that one.
All right, Matt, who do you need to thank before we let you go celebrate with your team?
I thank my team and Roger and my sponsor, Stay Tuned Sports Podcast.
All right, Matt Cherry, congratulations on a podium. We will see you next week at Michigan, my friend.
All right, I appreciate it.
And Frank, that puts another one in the books.
Yeah, absolutely. And we knew going into this race that it was going to be a race of very high intensity, a lot of close racing, a lot of maybe a little bit drastic moves, knowing what was on the line here tonight. And boy, it delivered in absolute spades here tonight.
It did at that. This is probably one of the best races we've seen in quite a while here at the Brickyard. And, there's action all through the field, all race long. Some tempers flaring a little bit early, but everybody seemed to calm down when it came to crunch time. And I don't think we could have asked for a better cutoff race.
Oh, absolutely. It was such a good run. And talking about Thomas Aaron and how he mentioned that he's been seemingly running second and third every single week, and that's pretty much because he has been. To take Richmond out, he did not finish the race at Richmond a couple of weeks ago, finished 25th. Second at Road America last week, 8th at Rockingham, 2nd at Homestead, 3rd at Martinsville, 2nd at Gateway, 5th at Charlotte has been his last run. It's been quite a season so far for that 89 and 93, pardon me. And
that, ladies and gentlemen, is why he is your points leader coming out of Indy.
Absolutely, and he will certainly be the points leader going into the next round of the playoffs, which we will now close out to get to. Here we'll get to the results now. Looking at them now, Thomas Aaron, as we had mentioned, with the race win. Jordan Jurassic taking a time away from his other leagues to come here. Finishing second. Matt Cherry, we heard from him as well. Finishing in third. Steven Sharik, Scott Formosa, the top five. Mark McCreary, Roger DeBold, Ryan Zunk, Tyler Truex, and Steven Luschinski coming home in the top 10. Greg McConey, Ryan Truex, Anthony Burleson, Chase Leahy, and Ryan Harrison rounding out the top 15.
Chuck Shambly and Darren Hall are going to be rounding out your lead lap cars in 16th and 17th. Seth Gadidoris on the final corner got spit out like a bad piece of candy and sent down pit road, finishing one lap down, unfortunately, in 18th. That could hamper his movement if he does qualify for the round of 12. He's going to be having to make up a lot of ground. Bo Condon, Matt Garrett, Robert Walton, and Jake Waltman finishing 19th, 20th, and 21st. Sorry, Jake Waltman in the 06 is actually going to finish in 22nd. Kyle Newkirk, Dustin Stallings, Tyler Chalk, rounding out your top 25. Greg Vial, James Sharik, not the night he was hoping for, coming home in 27th. Same goes for G.D. Woodward in 28th, Cole Gadgedoris in 29th. Justin Clapper and Nikolai Jardin round out your field of 31.
So quite a night here at Indianapolis, and as we had mentioned, all four of the drivers that were on the outside of the playoffs looking in, all having troubles. Cole Gadgedoris wrecking out, Dustin Stallings wrecking out, as well as Robert Walton and Jake Waltman all wrecking out later in the race. The assumption would be that those guys are all out of the playoffs. There were a couple of guys that were just ahead of them, Greg Vial, James Sharik, that did not finish the race and actually finished worse than them. So there is a slight chance that the drivers that were on the outside looking in have a chance at getting in. Cole Gadgedoris would have the best. Robert Walton would have the best because he finished well ahead of Cole. So that is the look ahead. But expecting the drivers that came into the race in the top 12 will be your top 12 championship competitors coming up in the next round. Coming up here on ESPN, however, coming up on Friday will be the Monsters of Speed round number 3 at Dover. That will be an 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time start. Then on Saturday, the Super Late Model AI Series will be at Southern National Motorsports Park, an 8 p.m. premiere for that series. Only 3 races to go at a tight championship battle for the Super Late Model AI Series. Then on Sunday, 2 races on Sunday, the ISNF Cup Series and Sunday Night NASCAR will both be at Watkins Glen. The ISNF Cup Series will be a 4:50 p.m. Eastern Time start. Sunday Night NASCAR starting at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time. And then on Monday, the CleanRacing.net Truck Series, they will be at Kentucky. Season for them rounding up as well. I believe round 8 of 10 for those guys in the CleanRacing.net Truck Series. That will be an 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time start as well. So for my broadcast partner, Tony Trapasso, I am Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening and a part of the very first broadcast under the newly christened Sim Racing Media. We will see you all next week in the trucks at Michigan for the beginning of the round of 12. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you all next week. Good night, everybody.